Hey, what's happening, man? What's happening? Just firing up Empyrean Galactic Survival right now. Making sure our VPN's working. We were having some latency issues, so whenever that gets bad, I try not to run hardcore on a game where I'm having like 300 ms ping. Almost got me killed when it started happening, so I decided to kind of dive out of that and pivot over to another game real quick. But anyway, we've got essentially a ship that we've been working on, and it is essentially a capital ship that is a exploration vessel, but I'm going to modify it to carry a tank that it should not carry, and then I'm going to load that tank up and drop it on a planet with a crap ton of enemy facilities, and I'm going to blow it to shit. So that's the plan. How are you doing tonight, man? Good, good. What you getting into? Alright, so we're actually going to be doing this live. Normally, a modification like this would need to happen, you know, outside of this section of the game. Like, you would not typically do this type of modification live. But unfortunately, we don't have that option because we're on a live server, and we are on hardcore, and we can't fit our tank inside the ship, and that's causing a problem. So the bay I would like to use for American Simulator. That's what you're doing? What is American Simulator? Is this a game? I have not heard of this. But the main thing is we're going to have to take the boarding ramp off the ship in order to do this. So we're going to set this to retrieve, and we're just going to quickly zap that and take it off. We're going to take that off. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to extend this bay out all the way to the end of the ship. Deep Rock Galactic. Oh, dude, I love Deep Rock Galactic. That game's amazing. Love that game. I went so hard on that game when it initially came out, man. So anyway, let's take the back end of this ship and fill this in with carbon composite, and then we'll put the ramp on the back of it. So this shouldn't take us very long to do. So yeah, let's go into devices here, and we're going to go into the advanced constructor. We're accessing this remotely just because I don't want to have to move. And then we're going to look at strictly cat blocks, and then we can look at our carbon composite here. The reason we're going to use carbon composite is weight. Alright, so these are 180 kilogram blocks. If I go steel, it's 1 ton per block. And then I start having problems trying to lift this ship off of planets. So anyway, we're going to build basically 100 blocks of this. Let it crank those out for us, and then we'll get to work. I'm probably not going to worry about texture tooling all of this up until later. But essentially, that tank is the exact width of the ship, so we've already tested that out. So we're probably going to rip out this bit, which is purely aesthetic. So like this can go, that can go, that can go, that can go. This is just, whoever originally designed this ship just put this in here for aesthetics. And I don't really care about it. Once I fill this in, that slot behind it is actually for upgraded engines that we can upgrade at a later time. I'm not worried about that right now. We're just going to essentially extend this bay out as far as possible. Then the other piece of this is the top, which essentially is a converted ramp, which is why you have the force field here. And if I hit, if I hit the ramp button, you'll see that it's a ramp that kind of does that, right? So because of that, we're gonna have to take this off as well, and we're gonna take that ramp out. And then we'll worry about kind of extending the hull of the ship out and covering this up once those blocks are done. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're going to use a drone so I can show you kind of the whole ship. So this is the capital ship that we are currently modifying. This is the Solar Wanderer. It is a solar-powered capital ship, so that way I'm not burning shitloads of fuel while I'm playing a survival game. And we parked it on this planet in this flat area to basically deploy the tank. But when we deployed the tank, I realized that, well, shit, it does not fit in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put an airlock here and shut this back of the ship off completely. And then we're going to just extend out the... We're going to take this ramp off here. Take this ramp off. Can you take down the entire... Yeah, you can. Yeah. And if, like, let's say that I got hit by a missile and it hit me, like, right here. It would destroy the solar panel, the blocks behind it. Like, it would take physical damage on that exact point on the ship where the missile impacted. I do have shields on the ship, but on this ship they're not that powerful. So if I took, like, sustained barrage of fire, it would obliterate this capital ship. It's not a warship. It's not designed for that. This, on the other hand, will fuck you up. This is a very, very high-end designed tank system. It's a hover tank, and this thing is designed to sit really far back from an enemy stronghold and just pound it to shit. And this is probably one of the best designs that I've ever seen in the game for tanks. And I used it in a playthrough a couple years back, and this is the second time I've ever deployed it. The entire front of this tank is combat armor, so it can actually absorb a ton of damage. The front Gatling guns that are on here are actually meant to be killed first because enemy positions will target turrets and generators. So inside this combat armor here, there's actually a small generator that is specifically there so that it will be targeted before other parts of the vessel. It does also have shields as well. But yeah, so that's essentially it in a nutshell. So yeah, the plan is today we're going to extend essentially this bay. We're going to put in an airlock. The airlock is going to seal off this area so that we can still fill it with oxygen, and we can walk around in there, and then we should be good to go. So we're going to start. Those blocks should be just about done here, and we're going to do it all. Yeah, they're good. And we're going to do it all in carbon composite, just to keep the weight of the ship fairly light. So the other thing is, you cannot add a block to a ship without turning the shields off. So that's what we're going to do right here. Cut the shields off, and now you're going to see this pop up and give us that option. So I'm going to fill this in just because I don't want to deal with that. And then we're going to move this over. And we're just going to put in a carbon fiber wall right here. Just like that. This should be enough space for the tank to be able to get up here and sit. So the next thing we're going to do is put back in the boarding ramps. And we want to look at the 5x4. No, we want... That's too big. Too big. How many blocks wide is this? It's been a long time since I've actually had to make a modification on an existing ship. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if it's 6 wide, that's going to take 2 ramps, which explains why they got it here. So we need a 3 wide. This is 3 by 2 by 3, 2 by 2 by 3. Three by 4 by 6. This should be the right size. Hey, how you doing, man? We are modifying a ship for Empyrean Galactic Survival right now. Essentially, what we're doing is the ship is a good ship. It just, our tank wouldn't fit on it that I'm using. So we're having to modify the ship to handle that. And I'm just messing with the boarding ramps now. So 3 by 4 by 6, that just feels too big. Even though, and that's too short. That's too tall. Up or down and placement desired height? Really? How about that? See, that's 1 too short for 5. So I have to do 2 of these, I'm guessing. I've never had to do this, so. But that helps out a ton. So this is probably where it needs to sit, I'm guessing. So let's do that. And then let's do that. Okay. Now let's see if this actually works the way that I want it to work. Oh shit. That is exactly what I need. I can really ignore the now let's just see if we made enough room for this to actually fit. And if it does fit, then we can finish the rest of the modifications to make it look pretty. But let's go with functionality first, pretty later. Alright. So it should fit in here right now. Oh, it does. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Alright, so we can shut this off. I want to just get out and take a look at where it's parked. And make sure I don't fall out of the back of the tank in the middle of nowhere. Which I won't, it's just on the ramp. But there's not much clearance, you know. And it is forward just a bit too much of where I want to put the airlock. So I may have to do 1 extra row of blocks. I was trying to make it even with the ship and then have this just hanging off the back of the ship, which is going to look weird, but I mean, it's already looks weird. So the tank will not get up high enough to go into the back of the ship because the ship's too high. That's what it is. You can only hover up so that you can only have so much altitude in the tank. This is Empyrean Galactic Survival Lemon. It is a very cool survival game where you can have a lot of fun, like building. If you get into the building aspect of the game, I mean, it gets a little crazy. But this is just, you know, like I said, I was just like, okay, I want this tank, but I have a size limitation on this server, so I can only use size 10 and below capital ships, which really sucks. But it is what it is. It's the server we chose to do a hardcore playthrough on. Which means, you know, 1 death outside of Atlantis. So if we go into the instances in Atlantis and we die, I'm not counting those because they're ridiculous. But outside of that, if we die 1 time, I'm deleting everything. Like, that's the end of the playthrough. And the guys that are online right now in the chat who have played Empyrean before know how ridiculous that sounds, because it is so easy to die in this game. Like, so easy. So you really need to know the mechanics and what you're doing to really mitigate something like that happening. So anyway, we do have our Object 703 version 2, and we do have 155mm ballistic artillery shells. So yeah, we did build those already, and those are ready to go. The next thing that we need to look at is, I'm not going to arm these right now because none of the targets on this particular planet are shielded. Yeah, exactly, Cloud. Yeah, you disassemble. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. This bug happens sometimes. You got to do that, and then you're good, and then we can use our light. So it's getting a little dark on this planet, but we are going to use this. We are going to fire this thing up and use it. And now that thing's working, I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to go get the small little mining ship that I have. And you know what's funny, guys, is I have this capital ship and I have this tank, and that's my mining ship that I've used to gather all the resources to do this. So if you guys want a good laugh, yeah, it's a rotary miner. I don't even have a laser miner yet. I'm still using this thing. But it's worked. I've mined asteroid with it. I've done all kinds of stuff. It's a little crazy. But it fits right on the top here. And when I've been needing resources, man, I just send that little guy out. It's not shielded, nothing. It's, you know, that is like the worst thing to use in a hardcore playthrough. But the next thing I'm gonna build a shielded proper mining SV, and then maybe I'll build a mining CV. I don't know. We'll get around to that. But right now we're just doing some stuff to get some more optronic matrices and bridges. And to do that, I was like, let's build a tank and we'll blow some shit up. Just gonna sit there? No. I just docked the ship on here. I'm going to go to the bridge of the ship now, and we're going to go fly it over towards an enemy structure. I'm going to set the ship down, I'm going to unload the tank. I'm going to finish loading it up with shield, ammunition, everything it needs, and then I'm going to blow it to hell. Alright, so let's turn the shields back on. So this is going through this menu. We're going to fire the shields back up. Kick that on. And let's go ahead and lift off. Oh yeah, so it's docked to the top of the ship, and if I am in a position where I need it, it's usually in space. So I just go out the airlock and I go use my jetpack and I go up there and I hop in it and I mine the asteroid and then I hop back in the I redock it to the ship. I don't use it really on planets too much, so that's why I just threw it up there. I took it off because I had it in the bay and I was trying to fit the tank in there, and I realized that it wouldn't really fit. So yeah, I should have put it on first. Anyway, targets. Let's go find something to blow up. I do have a base here, and this is where we're going to be going. So this is the Zyrex fortification. We're just going to put a pin there, basically saying that we're going to attack this. We're going to show HUD local, remove on approach, and that's going to basically tell me where to go. And if this capital ship actually had any decent weapons, I would just be able to use it to shell the shit out of the base and not have to worry about it. But all it has is little piddly autocannons. The tank that is docked on the ship actually has more firepower than this capital ship. So that's, you know, that's a funny little bit. But I know that I haven't shown any combat from an HV on any of my live streams, really. So this will be like a net new thing that we're going to show. And it is on hardcore, so I'm probably not getting out of the tank until everything's very dead. Alright, so it's loading up a bunch of stuff. There we go. You do get a little lag when it's loading sectors for the first time sometimes, but that's about it. It's pretty seamless if I wanted to go up into orbit, or if I wanted to be here on the planet, or if I wanted to go to a moon or whatever. You can travel anywhere you want in the game. It's a lot of fun. But, you know, this is day 7 of our hardcore playthrough, essentially, on Empyrean. So the goal here today is we're going to test out the tank, kind of showcase that a little bit. There's our home right there. So we did build a base on this planet that we can always go back to if we need. But I did transfer pretty much everything from that base to this ship, pretty much decommissioning the base on this planet. The goal is that we be able to exit the solar system in the near future and be able to find another planet to set up on. I'm probably going to head to the Dronelands. So if you want to see all the places you can go, I'm going to pull up the map real quick. This is the galaxy map. Every single dot that you see is a star that you can actually go to, that has a solar system and planets you can explore. And, you know, this thing is massive. Every single speck that you see, you can travel to and explore. And then you can turn on territories, and you can see all the different territories all over the place that are owned by different factions. And each of those factions has different types of ships and POIs and quests and things that you can do. So there's just the amount of time that you can spend inside this game is pretty massive. Just doing whatever you want to do. And you can follow the quest lines, or you don't have to follow the quest lines, and you can just do whatever you want to do. Build whatever you want to build, explore the galaxy, set up shop somewhere, invite your friends. But that's kind of it. Alright, so let's fire this off. So now we can see all of the signatures. It is, yeah, I think we're going to have to be waiting on daytime. But that Zyrax fortification is actually near the this lake. So what we'll be doing is we're going to put the ship down up here in this flat area. We're going to unload the tank, and we'll use the lake as a way to hover, essentially back and forth, and we'll shell that base. So I do have rounds for it, and I do have pretty much everything we need to probably do every single base on this planet. I've already made the ammunition for, but we want to make sure that we park the capital ship well out of range. This is not designed as a combat ship, it is an exploration vessel. So we're going to park that. And then the other thing we want to do is go into our advanced constructor here, and then we're going to replace the ammunition that we're going to take, is the deal. So we need 15 by 127 millimeter rounds, and we need autocannon rounds. And the way you determine what type of ammunition is needed for whatever vehicle that you're using is when you get into the vehicle seat, or you're standing in the vehicle and you bring up its devices menu, you can look at the ammunition loadout on it, and that will help you out as far as, you know, what type of ammo. But you can see, like, we've got rotary cannons all over this thing. It is designed to kill everything that moves. And let's get it through here. I need to turn my jetpack on so I don't have this issue. And here we go. Let's hop in here. This hover tank is designed to be completely self-sustainable. Not that we're going to need it, but it does have a clone chamber even. And then it also has this upgrade box, which is for auxiliary and quantum cores, which allow you to upgrade the weapon systems and shield capability on this tank even further. So again, we're not going to be doing that, but you just go into the devices menu and you can see kind of everything here. Go into main, and you can see all the weapon systems, and here's what you need. So we've got 400 155 millimeter basic artillery shells loaded. We have no homing missiles loaded. We do need 15 by 127 rounds and homing missiles. So that's all we need to make is those types of rounds. 15 by 127 and homing missiles. So that's how you do that. And you can do that for any vessel that you get in. Whatever you want. So go to the device list on my ship. We're going to go to the advanced constructor, access that. I've got plenty of 15 by 127 rounds. I made a crap load of those. But we would like some homing missiles. So let's see. I might have to unlock them. Maybe not. That's swarm rockets. We definitely don't need that. Oh, I have capital ship selected. That's the problem. Okay, let's go over to that. And that's a SAM. And it should be, it's not the unguided, it should be the guided rockets. Is it the 130s? It's got to be the 130s. Because it's not this one. Pretty sure it's the 130s. Vehicle mounted missile turret. I know the missile turret's on top. It's this guy. Heavy missile turret. Yeah. Let's go. And this says 128. Homing missile cartridge. I feel like something's wrong here. Because I don't see the 128 in the list on this server. Which is fine, but I'll have to modify it if it's not available. Let's go to hover vessel. And then it should be on missile turrets, and I have those unlocked. And then I have to take a look at weapons. Yep, those are all good. And then we gotta look at these, because it's a heavy missile turret. Heavy missile turrets, HV, I have those unlocked. SAM 224 homing missiles. Okay. Oh, why do things gotta be complicated sometimes on here? So yeah. Anyway, this says 130 SAM, 155. Do I need the upgraded constructor maybe to build those? I feel like that is the problem. I don't think it's an RE1 tank. I know this is RE2, I think, so that's why I was like, maybe I'll have to do some upgrades.